What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Game Show Invitational. We are in the middle of settling who in this group is going to be moving onwards with Four Clovers and Leprechaun. PR versus Chappa are both currently 1-1, so this is going to be the deciding best of three in this format. I'm Mikelorus, going to be one of your casters for today. Couchor is here as well. It's been a long time, man. How are you doing?
Quite fine, and this indeed being the last game of this group, it will end the entire group stage actually, just because we know all the other playoff teams already as it is. It's Goomba, Scary Faces, Burden United, Moscow 5, Basically Unknown, and Four Clovers waiting for them. So quite the playoffs we have coming up ahead of us. But
I think there's one
Power
more
Rangers,
actually. Isn't Vega and Immortal mode on? Unless what I'm looking at is outdated. It probably is.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, so the winner of this should face up against Goomba, I think.
Oh, Goomba is already through, so it's just one game. Vega versus Immortal will decide the winner.
Yeah, but like after this like group stage, then the winner like in the bracket phase will face Goomba. That should be what it is.
I think so, yes.
But really, does it matter? Not really, because this game
you have to win
against
everybody anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a double elimination, so it's some breathing space for you. But coming into this draft or this game, Power Rangers and Chappa, they have faced each other once before in this tournament. It was Power Rangers taking the win 2-1, I do believe it was. And they start the draft with a Darkseer of all heroes.
That's not the hero that you would expect to be first picked pretty much ever, and well, this is going to make Chappa perhaps a little bit scared about an incoming Darkseer Bounty Hunter, Darkseer Spirit Breaker kind of combo, anyone who typically just gets into the face of the opposition. So, I guess taking stuns is always going to be a good way to get out of that. Storm Spirit especially, chase down after any surge targets. This is a pretty good response, I would say, to a Darkseer first pick.
Yeah, it's, I mean, just not the hero that you want to go for as the first pick. Same way if you like pick up a Storm Spirit as the first, for example, then you're going to see a Lion straight after. Although, I suppose Hex isn't that devastating against Darkseer or, well, against a team that has Darkseer, because to target Hex, you can still surge him and he's still going to be at hasted movement speed. Although he can't cast spells himself, he can still make a run for it at least. So they have that going for them, but this really must be a setup for like more of a wombo combo style, like may it be Black Hole maybe and Magnus Harpy, something like that.
You would think if they were going for that, then they would have kept the Gyrocopter in the pool, first pick the Gyrocopter, and then pick the Darkseer like 4th or 5th, because he's, I mean, I guess he's seeing a little bit more play nowadays, but he's still not at that state of you gotta ban him out or pick him, you know, all the time, or else it's gonna be a disaster. Not there yet, so, you know, Darkseer into Shadow Fiend, so far not the combo I was talking about. It's not really an early game combo, but come the later stages of the game, there is potential here for Wombo combo, and well, vacuum into just Shadow Fiend raises. Like, that is good enough to get some kills.
Yeah, it's definitely not the biggest, but like I said, it should be enough in most situations. Of course, that's before the BKB start coming out, and depending on how much Magic Power Rangers will go for the rest of the draft, BKBs will be items that Chappa might want to get for sure. But we'll see, maybe Power Rangers are going to just run like a Darkseer Bounty Hunter kind of style, maybe. Ion Shell the Invis target, 2 damage that way, maybe picking up a Spirit Breaker instead. Of course, they themselves could definitely do with some Lockdown now as their next pick, so maybe even something like a Skyref Mage support or Shadow Shaman, not entirely sure, but they need some way to just lock down the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably Shaker Sand King type style, like especially Shaker versus Storm Spirit in the mid lane, with Shadow Fiend going in the mid lane as well, which I'm assuming is going to be run by Power Rangers. Sunlight, I'm assuming, is in this game. No official names, but I'm going to assume he's around. Probably going to run that one, and if he gets some Shaker support, just a Fissure into double raise, yeah, it's a lot of burst damage, and Storm Spirit, well, at least pre-level 6 is not really going to have much to say about that. Even post-level 6, the burst coming out from that type of combination is absolutely disgusting. So, you know, those types of setups are what Power Rangers should be looking for right now, and it seems like Chappa instead, they're going to take out the Slark, even though they're actually pretty well positioned against the Slark right now.
I would have liked to see Power Rangers pick up Slark and then Chappa go for a Bloodseeker. Just because yesterday I saw Bloodseeker being played by Beneski versus Execration, and he had 900 plus gold per minute, 20 minutes in. That was like the most farmed Bloodseeker, or most farmed hero ever, to be honest, at that point in the game. So I'd like to see Bloodseeker a little bit more in general, but probably not going to happen this time around, as Night Stalker also was the last ban of Chappa. I mean, the Crippling Fear could have been pretty devastating for the Storm Spirit to go up against, just getting silenced for a longer period of time, especially during the nighttime. But they themselves need an offlaner.
10 seconds
Maybe like Clockwork isn't the best, although it would allow just to stop
5
Surge
seconds
from being
remaining.
effective with the cogs. But then again, coaxing yourself in up against Shadow Rays is also not the best
Reserve
thing to do.
time.
Yeah, it kind of paints a target, and well, Shadow Raises, you got the Darkseer wall, which you could just drop on top of Cogs if you really want to, or just pull the Clockwork out of that. So, and it would give Chappa a lot of ways to initiate, and up against a Shadow Fiend, to a lesser extent the Darkseer, having multiple ways, having options is going to be really sweet for the Chappa side, but I don't really know if they're going to be going down that route. The Beastmaster would have been sweet, and Magnus is going to be the pick instead.
Dire
I think this is
team
also pretty reasonable. They're going to really wish they had access to the Juggernaut right now, or the Slark, just to get that in power synergy. But it's another way of initiating that really isn't as easy to counter from the Power Ranger side.
Yeah, and to be honest with this now, this might be a safe lane Storm Spirit for them, and considering that Darkseer is going to be Power Rangers off lane, it's actually pretty nice to have the Storm Spirit farm up safe lane, if that's what they're going for, because you have the range, you don't have to worry that much about Ion Shell damage. Also, leaving the Static Remnant behind,
5
it makes it rather easy to actually kill those Ion Shell targets as well at the same time. And of course, with the Electric Vortex, an early point into it just helps out killing the Darkseer if the supports rotate in.
And Electric Vortex is a pretty fast cast time, and Surge is also a pretty slow cast time, so ideally you just hit him, wait until he surges, and then yank him back. Surge is probably going to last longer than the Electric Vortex most of the time, if that is to be the case, but with the line there as well, they have enough CC and then some to lock down and kill off a Darkseer, who I think we could assume is probably going to go to the bottom lane right now for Power Rangers. Up against the Magnus mid, Shadow Fiend will just do fine, as will the Magnus, really, but PR, they're looking for a couple support heroes. Chappa, ban out the Night Stalker, I guess that's a support hero that you can ban out, as you already said, we already see the value of a Night Stalker, a potential Night Stalker up against a Storm and now Mag. PR gonna grab a Rubik. This is fine, I guess. I mean, it's a point-click stun versus the Storm Spirit, but I think that's really all they really wanted out of their support.
Yeah, also just being able to steal reverse polarity if you're really good at it. Or even just stealing like a Hex or a Spike from the line is going to be just extra resistance for you to deal with the Storm Spirit. Maybe get just instant Hex as well as the Magnus is blinking in, something like that. But Chappa themselves going for a Disruptor. So should they get a nice RP, the Static Storm to follow can just kind of whack the nail into the coffin.
And Chappa have so many ways of just manipulating the space and like the terrain of where Power Rangers are moving. Like the kinetic field glimpse is always going to be there whenever you pick up a Disruptor, but when you add a Skewer and initiation from Storm Spirit on top of that, it's going to be really hard for Power Rangers to actually get initiation off on their own terms. Close to impossible. Like,
10 seconds
I don't really know how they're going to do it outside of one of these heroes getting a fast Blink Dagger or something
5
like that.
seconds
If
remaining.
that doesn't happen, then really difficult for Power Rangers to start fights, and it will have to come down to the laning phase for them to
Reserve
gain a
time.
significant advantage and really get in the lead in a decisive way before Chappa are able to get these levels up and actually get those initiations off. Sand King is going to be the pick for Power Rangers. Now the Rubik pick a little bit better. You have 1 stun to 2 stun, usually a pretty solid way to go. And, well, they're going to try to, I guess, give the Shadow Fiend a little bit more space, but Rubik Sand King, it's potentially very dangerous, but you could definitely do a lot better with a dual support combo.
Yeah, it's definitely solid. The only downside to it is that neither the Darkseer nor the Shadow Fiend will be able to just get that much out of the jungle. I mean, Darkseer usually, if your offlane is really horrible, at least you can get reasonable far from the jungle. Not the fastest, but still pretty solid. Also, usually you just want to stack up for the Shadow Fiend for him to come in with those Shadow Raises. Now, though, it's going to be all the Sand King farming it up. Of course, Sand King getting an early Blink Dagger is a priority over those, I think. But it's just a little bit of something.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer banned out. PR do need a little bit more late
10
game. Shadow Fiend
seconds
+1 should be more than enough to lock down Chappa, at least in a man fight
5
late game,
seconds
which
remaining.
may or may not come. It may not come down to it with this type of draft, but we'll see. Morphling going to be banned out on the Power Rangers side. Chappa looking for that right clicker of their own, and honestly, there are just so many left in the pool that doesn't really matter. But Chappa, do you think they go for? Well, I guess not. I was gonna say Medusa, but I guess Lifestealer is also good. Probably better, in fact.
Yeah, with the Empower, it's just a hell of a lot stronger all of a sudden. Although I must say, I was thinking about Lifestealer, but potentially for Power Rangers instead of Chappa, but it can work that way as well. You have the Magnus with a Blink Dagger later on to just help the Lifestealer get to the fight. Storm Spirit, of course, can easily ball in like that. And I have to say, Rage is equally good against Power Rangers, if not better than it would have been up against Chappa, just because Chappa, they're going to have the Static Storm, RP as well, that would have gone through it, and Storm Spirit to probably build the Orchid. But Power Rangers at the moment, they don't have natural Orchid carriers, they have no forms of silence at the moment, pre-rage of the Lifestealer. So all they have to rely on is just a fast disable onto the Lifestealer before he gets the rage of, or well now with the Faceless Void, the Chronosphere of course.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I would say, up against the Lifestealer. If it does come down to a slugfest Faceless Void, we'll have the advantage of dodging and bashing, and then, if needed, a Chronosphere. So Power Rangers do have, a pretty decent wombo combo that has been set up. They've kind of been sneaking into that strategy with the Shadow Fiend 2nd pick, Sand King 4th, and now Faceless Void 5th. They may not always work the best together just because your vacuum into Ion Shell doesn't really do that much when the illusions from the wall are just in a Chronosphere, but Power Rangers do have very high cooldowns that are very high impact, and if Chappa can dodge them, if Power Rangers get picked off, or if they somehow can't really get these spells off, then they might find themselves in a period of time where they just won't be able to fight, whereas Chappa will, because with the Storm Spirit, they have pretty much 100% uptime with their ability to fight. RP is the only thing that they should be waiting for. That and Finger of Death, I suppose. But guys, this is game 1 between Chappa and Power Rangers, and my microphone is closed in Dota TV. I'm going to open that up. So let's see who's going to be playing what. We don't have many official names here, but Mikelorus is going to be on the Chappa side as the Magnus. Pasha Invoker, I think that's his official name, on the Storm Spirit, with, I believe, Metrum on the Lion. Arzeek from X-Vegas Squadron, I believe, is on the Disruptor. And then, yeah.
Sasha Akasha.
Sasha Akasha.
Yeah.
Sure.
Doesn't it look like that, man?
Yeah, that's... Sure,
that's exactly how it looks like.
The third character is apparently an SH sound, which is good to know.
Yes. It is indeed, but for the side of Power Rangers, then Dichara will be playing the Faceless Void with Sand King being J4, Sunlight is on the Shadow Fiend, Rubik to be played by... Oh god, I already forgot it. I totally checked it out, but managed to forget it already. Oh, King R, yes.
Yeah, it would be King
Joker
R.
is... Joker, I suppose, on the Darkseer.
Is Joker not Cheshire Cat?
I have no idea if he is or not, but
Okay.
I suppose he probably is. Is he still playing for Power Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was just... Last time I saw Power Rangers, he was still on them.
Okay, so he's Cheshire Cat, so we actually know all the players then.
But are we actually gonna... We're probably just gonna call them what they're tagged up
Yeah,
as, right?
it's way too hard to remember who is who if so many... If it's only like 2 names that are different, it's fine. Especially if it's like between the supports, it's like, oh goddamn, which one was it?
Yeah, all supports are the same anyway.
Man, that's...
Yeah.
If only it was true, but one support will always have a harder time just because, well, he's not going to get any farm usually. At the moment, though, with Chappa, they're having the Magnus offlane, and it's not that easy to be a Magnus when you're up against the Telekinesis, because you start the Skewer, you can still get Telekinesis and then thrown back. So, Nicoril definitely not going to have a fun time. Then again, it's not like Darkseer is going to have a good old time himself. Now Arzeek and Metrum, they're going to come in already onto Cheshire Cat. Do we get any assistance from the Lifestealer though? So far only has the Feast, so can't really do that much to actually help the supports.
You can't kill him with all that mango regen, man. He's gonna eat the tango and even charge forward, pushing Arzeek back. This Darkseer is tanky with 6 armor and a stout shield, so that was supposedly a wraparound gank on the Joker, but I think Joker might have done more damage to the Chappa side than vice versa. So Darkseer, yeah, a very difficult hero to actually lock down. Lifestealer wouldn't really be able to help either. Open Wounds, you have to use it with Spike or with a Hex, otherwise Surge just nullifies all of that. So yeah, Lifestealer versus Darkseer, not exactly that great until much later in the game.
Though, first blood is going to happen.
Storm Spirit versus the Shadow Fiend. No, Shadow Fiend, where are you going? He's going to turn around and raise. There it is. It's first blood for the Shadow Fiend. I thought he was just going to bail out, man. I was like, the kill's in the other direction. What are you doing?
He wanted everybody to think like that. Because I was so certain as well. It's like, oh, he's going to make a run for it, but one quick turnaround, one more Shadow Age. Oh, Cheshire Cat, level 3 finds Disruptor, level 2 Ion Shell as well. I don't think Disruptor can get away from this, or never mind. Cheshire Cat is just going to wuss out, and now he's going to get mana drained a little bit. Lion trying to be sneaky, but Joker with the Surge is going to be just fine because Disruptor isn't level 2 yet for the Glimpse. Or, of course, the Kinetic Field.
But still, Darkseer, level 3, clearly able to bully these supports around. I would say that he could probably take a 2v1. Should the supports gang up on him, Joker just turns on the Ion Shell, charges in. If he gets boots especially, then that'll be a very clear option for him. But He's still doing really well on that bottom lane, whereas Magnus, he is struggling a little bit more. Not by a ton, but just a little bit. We have actually a failed D-ward by King R, I think, or J4, I don't know, all these support players. Nicoril is still facing up against poking and prodding from Rubik, and PR actually have, for the most part, a full-on jungling Sand King. Is stacking up a hell of a lot for either himself or the Shadow Fiend, but no one on Chappa can really afford to leave their lane and stop this from happening.
It's so sad to be honest, still to watch J4 on the Sand King farming it up like that, just because level 1 Sandstorm, it's just so slow going for you. And well, he's not even gonna get the big center down, but at least he's getting something, I suppose. Although I think they could just put a little bit more pressure onto Magnus with the Sand King leeching XP from the lane at the same time, get the level 3, and then just farm up much faster.
Yeah, you may want to argue that, oh, well, he's at least farming, but the rate at which he's farming is just not desirable at all. He is finally low level 3, so level 2 Sandstorm is going to make this much, much easier, close to a cakewalk even. This is, I would say, like, if you're going to be running a level 1 jungling Sand King, then you really have to watch out from the enemy supports, like, a lot. Because if they even drop a sentry ward in your camp, then that, for some reason, gives the neutrals true sight, because that's how that works. But, yeah, then that just messes up the Sand King's day completely, and you just can't farm that camp anymore for another 3 minutes. But that clearly is not happening. These supports have their hands full on the bottom lane, where Darkseer is level 4, pushing level 5 right now. Lifestealer is free farming very, very well in this lane, however. So this is something that Power Rangers will eventually have to deal with.
Of course, Tichera also free farming rather well, a little bit behind of the Lifestealer, but even so, 29 lasted, 16 denies as well on top of that. And hasn't gone for a rushed Midas or anything, so they as a team might be going for more like a combat style. Oh, bottom lane choker. He does have enough mana for a surge before the mana drain gets him, so he's gonna be fine, but he's really getting low on mana. Does he have a soul ring or something flying out? Nope, it's gonna be a bottle though coming into Cheshire Cat, so he's gonna get a little bit extra mana from that, keep on just spamming out those ion shells. But in the meantime, Sasha, he has himself face boots, not going for a Midas either, at least not yet, if he's going for one at all. For the Lifestealer, is it gonna be just the standard like face boots, maybe into drums, but mostly just armlet?
Yeah, probably just one of those types of builds. Like, he does have the Storm Spirit and eventually a Blink Magnus to get in and out of those fights, so you could pretty much go for anything as the Lifestealer, and you will have some guaranteed effectiveness. So it's just a matter of how aggressive PR are going to be and how defensive Chappa want to be with their item pickups thereafter. We have a smoke up down towards bottom. It's probably going to be Metrum in the most trouble, although he does blow the smoke right now. RZ coming around the side, but the surge forward, Rubik's going to grab the Lion, drag him right back into the Darkseer. No Ion Shell damage, Burrow Strike through is going to connect though with the Sandstorm. They'll blow up the Lion. Now looking towards Sasha. He will rage out of there, but RZ is wandering in from the mid-river. What are you doing there, bro? He's going to put the kinetic field up. No telekinesis, no Burrow Strike. Surge into the Sand King. He's going to get in real close, but if he Burrow Strikes now, that'll be a mistake. Yeah, he's going to realize it. Turn around. He's going to die to the tower. Yes. That was not the play that Power Rangers wanted to make.
That was extremely questionable, and well, I suppose in the end, Disruptor just epic bait. Although he's going to find out Joker puts down a kinetic field. I think he wants his teammate to get to the bounty rune first, or I don't know what the idea was behind that. In the meantime, Shadow Fiend gets himself a kill onto Pasha's Storm Spirit. That's a kill that you don't really expect to happen, especially when the Storm Spirit is level 6 already.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that. I think he came over here, raised the Storm Spirit, who was dropping very low to the neutrals, and then caught a blind raise from across the trees. Really slick plays by the Shadow Fiend. Of course, that's the only way he actually gets those kills, if he lands that raise, but still Shadow Fiend styling on the Storm Spirit for right now is leading. Obviously in kills, because, well, he got a couple of kills, is 2 levels above the Storm Spirit, is a whole bunch of CS ahead of the Storm as well, plus he's probably going to share this stack with the Sand King, so even more experience for him. Maybe he's going to give the Sand King the gold. You probably should want to give the Sand King the gold, but man, Shadow Fiend is getting very far ahead of the Storm Spirit.
Man, Shadow Fiend, that's just what he does normally, although it doesn't start this early on. Although he's extremely strong in the lane with those Shadow Races helping out, it's not like he sets up solo kills all that often himself, to be honest. And I mean, Shadow Fiends, they farm extremely fast, but it just starts a little bit later normally. But of course, Faceless Void also farming almost just as fast. He's gonna have his Mask of Mana soon enough, only needs the recipe for it. And of course, he is level 6, although so far hasn't picked up the Chronosphere quite yet. And he has even 2 points, which he hasn't skilled up.
Okay, I can understand, like, holding on the Chronosphere point, because you just might not need it. But that other point, that like level 5 skill point, I don't really know what that's about. Like, clearly he wants either time lock or time walk, so at least get one of them, man.
So sometimes you need the +2 stats, man, to survive.
I don't know, would backtrack do a little bit more to survive? Probably, right?
Probably true, yes. But
like
maybe he's just not a
HP.
strong believer in RNG. Maybe it's let him down too many times in the past.
Yeah, he needs to sacrifice a goat or something. That'll give him some favor from the RNG gods.
Bottom lane, Lifestealer, he just...
They're gonna jump in.
That should be an
towards the
easy
Shadow
kill,
Fiend.
right?
Ball lightning in, double ball lightning, but no, Shadow Fiend is big enough to turn this around. One Ray's gonna connect, second one gonna whiff. But this is 2 heroes trying to go for one. Arzeek's gonna come right in, has a glimpse, and the Lion's here as well. Suddenly everybody, they're gonna get lifted up on the Lion, throw him into 2. Ray's gonna connect, but QP in a little bit more trouble now. Skewer back, waved back now. No one can follow up on that Shadow Fiend. Metrum got caught with the Burrow Strike on the way out. He's gonna die to the Sandstorm. And everyone else is going to leave. That was 4 heroes for Chappa to get absolutely nothing except a death.
To be honest, that was like lots of spells thrown out by both sides to do a minimal amount of damage in all honesty. And just so many heroes close by, but only one dying is somewhat of a surprise to me, but it worked out. And now Pasha still wants to go for the Shadow Fiend, but gets telekinesis, 1 Shadow Race and 1 more. Does get the kill for him, and this is turning out to be kind of a disaster, especially in this mid lane for Chappa. I mean, Lifestealer, yes, is still farming, and he is still gonna go for a Midas here as well. But that Midas just might set them back a little bit too much, because I really feel like Chappa should be trying to make a little bit more happen, but they do need level 6s on the supports. They need at least level 6 on the Magnus, preferably also a Blink after that. Whereas Power Rangers, they're not really reliant on all of those items. Maybe the Blink on Sand King, but they can do without.
Oh, bottom lane. This is like the worst situation ever. This just sucks, man. You can't do anything. You know that Darkseer's there, but you can't see him. Just paw wildly, Lifestealer. Just swing your fists and you'll hit something. I promise you. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Joker, though, is facing down a rotation. 3 heroes coming in, but the 4th one, Pasha Invoker, not going to do so. This top lane, by the way, is completely devoid of heroes for Chappa. They're leaving Ditchira up there completely on his lonesome. That's Mask of Madness, Faceless Void. If anyone does come in at this point, Chronosphere, Madness, is it called Madness? It's called Berserk, I think. Then that target should be dead or very close to dead.
So what's the plan for Chappa? Just really have Lifestealer farm away on the Midas? Although he's dropping rather low, already used the Infest to try to get a little bit health back, but only got to about half. Storm Spirit doesn't dare even go into the mid lane anymore. He's going for a Soul Ring, but that of course may help in his demise as well in certain situations. So Chappa, they need their levels, they need their farm, but can they ensure it for long enough? Will Power Rangers give that time, considering that J4 just picked up his Blink Dagger?
Well, up until you mentioned that Blink Dagger, I'm like, well, I don't think Power Rangers can punish that much. Like, you know, they could go for the Sand King or the Rubik lifts and stuff like that. No, Blink Dagger or Sand King, this is something that you want to, you know, actually go ahead and make some aggressive plays with. Secondary item, that's going to be coming up in the Shadow Fiend. Looks like it's going to be a BKB. So between the BKB on the Shadow Fiend and the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, Power Rangers will have such an immense leap of power above Chappa, who just now picked up the level 6 on Magnus. Maybe he'll get a clutch skewer into RP, maybe, very difficult to say, but for Power Rangers, they have so much more power than Chappa right now, and even though they have a Faceless Void, they should be okay with sitting back and farming. There's no reason to. They're going to smoke up, probably down towards bottom, yeah, and look towards this Lifestealer. Blink Burrow Strike, and if Sasha doesn't expect it, that Rage isn't going to help him one bit.
He's already so low in health that they should get the kill. But can they get the Blink initiation? There's the Blink Burrow Strike, Ion Shell, 1 punch I think from the Darkseer as well. Even had a haste rune, didn't even need to search for that one. But there is a smoke on the other side as well. Chappa, 3 men smoked up for the top side, and they're probably gonna get Ditchara or can they? There's the Chronosphere, which makes helping so damn hard. Just can't get close enough. Ditchara, Time Walk, and gonna be able to... Nope! They had the vision, they got the glimpse, so Ditchara, I think he's gonna go down now.
See how long you live. You got a lot of backtracks already. They're going to use the RP there. I was maybe a little bit scared of rotations coming in to help out that Faceless Void, but I mean, we could just see the effort at which these teams are applying to these carries. It took Chappa 4 heroes, it took Power Rangers pretty much only 2. Rubik was there, but he didn't actually do anything, and well, Power Rangers also get a tier 1 tower, and they're also maybe going to sit on this Lifestealer a little bit harder, or just ambush whoever's going to be foolish enough to defend this mid lane. Blink Sand King, he's looking for it. And Lion, if you go down there, I promise you, you're not going to like what you find. Well, Pasha Invoker, your situation's not really the same either. Burrow Strike's gonna connect. Hex is going to land, though. Pasha Invoker gonna get one raise. Not quite the second one, though, as Sand King now taking a lot of damage. Is gonna be durable enough to withstand all of that. And it'll just be an initiation on that Storm Spirit, messing him up really badly, but they don't get the kill.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay. I'm not too sure if Sand King expected the Storm Spirit to be there, because it felt to me that he blinked there to just farm up the creep wave or something, and suddenly like, oh, there's a Storm Spirit, I have to Burrow Strike. But didn't happen out in the end. And now Darkseer, he himself has gotten himself a Hand of Midas. So Cheshire Cat as well as the Lifestealer both on this bottom lane just farming up. Even in last hits, they are rather, well, I can't say similar. I was like, Darkseer, 55 last hits, that's not bad at all. But Lifestealer still has 84.
Lifestealer is cheating. He has Hand of Midas for more time, and he has Infest as well, which is like another guaranteed CS every how long, especially up against Ion Shell. Very useful tool, but yeah, Joker, he's going to get a lot of farm, and Darkseer with a lot of farm, yeah, he's not as, directly impactful as a Lifestealer with a similar amount of farm, but if you get, Sheepstick, Shiva's Guard, these are big items that you can grab and have a large impact in. So, top lane push is incoming. Pasha Invoker gonna run right into the Sand King. They didn't see him though. Burst Strike forward, jump in. They're actually gonna get the Requiem off. QP though in a lot of trouble. Caught in the Static Storm is not gonna survive this one. He does give up his life as well. Now Storm Spirit jumping in onto 3 Days Grace. And Rubik has a lift up. Will throw back the Storm Spirit a little bit. It looks like Storm doesn't quite have enough mana. Now they're gonna try to go for Sasha. They will bat him down. The bashes galore. And that's going to be Lifestealer's doom. Spike from up the high ground. That'll keep the Storm Spirit alive for now. Faces Void couldn't quite get that Time Walk into Chronosphere combo off, but it is a 1-for-1 trade that Chappa should be very happy to make, with the exception being Darkseer, who's maybe going to take down this tier 1 tower.
Of course, they did get to deny the tower, at least on top. It was the Disruptor denying that one, so it makes it a little bit better on the top side. But yeah, like I said, Cheshire Cat gonna get himself a tower in return, picked up a Hetress, so probably gonna be the mech for their team. And that's the tower down, so all tier 1's already destroyed. BKB is finished on the Shadow Fiend extremely early, 14 minutes in. And with him having already 1 point into Presence of Dark Lord, they may be able to go into Roshan as well if they just want to. But going into Roshan is going to be so much scarier now that Nicarilla and the Magnus has his own blink.
Oh, and that's something that PR are not going to be expecting either. Like, Magnus has been kind of just floating around, not doing all that much in this game. So as Power Rangers, you're probably thinking, oh, he's getting close to his blink, probably has like 1400 gold or something like that. But no, he actually has the full 22. So yeah, Power Rangers might be caught by surprise a little bit. What they do have though is Rubik with Ball Lightning, and that is a big pickup. It's essentially, Blink Dagger, I guess, on the Rubik as well, but he has the item pool to mana pool rather, to actually support that. And Ball Lightning in the Roche Pit, well, we've seen Storm Spirits in the Roche Pit just go off, and Rubik can't necessarily do the same, but he can do something a little bit similar, or just back up this Faceless Void push up towards top. This guy is fairly vulnerable right now with this Void, but Chappa are nowhere nearby. They're all in the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, they were trying to find out something, but Cheshire Cat played just passive enough there. Didn't really go that deep in, and with that, it's going to be rotations towards the top side from Chappa now, and that just means that Cheshire Cat himself can start pushing on the bottom lane. So they're really going for more of the split pushy style, although they have all of their ultimates available. Maybe they are waiting just for Cheshire Cat to get some extra levels himself, get himself actually the wall as well on top of the vacuum. Although the Burrow Strike comes in, will they even pop the Chrono? No, the Static Storm lands on free! Now, there's the Chrono. We had a glimpse, but it doesn't do much of anything. QP comes in, Requiem of Souls being channeled and cancelled.
That was very anticlimactic. Requiem is going to do literally no damage with the Burst Strike connect on the 2. Sandstorm's going to get 1 kill. Now they're looking for another Metrum's right around the corner right now with the Finger of Death at the ready. He sees the Sand King. He wants the Sand King. Will he get the Sand King? Metrum's going to run into the Rubik. That's also a pretty good kill. But, oh, do they actually know that the line is there? It doesn't seem like they do. That was so many ultimates being used for no damage at all, but Power Rangers do come away with the kill. They'll come away with the tower as well. Sasha's going to walk right and has an armlet, so he is ready to battle. But Ditchara is clearly ready to battle as well. Blink forward, Burst Strike looking for Metrum. Gonna catch him as well. If they could chain stun him, there's going to be no Finger of Death. 1 raise, actually, that's all they need. Glimpse back onto Ditchara, going to bring him right back into a kinetic field. He's going to fight to the death, but his death is coming. Sasha, now with the rage up, is going to go straight for QP. Epicenter off to the side, though, going to be channeled already. The Lifestealer is dead, though. Now the RP onto 2. 3, rather. It's not going to do enough, though. QP gets his BKB off. 3 Days Grace. Going to steal the Skewer. Try to get away, but dies when he's mid-running. And now QP, he doesn't really have any backup right now. He has to get the hell out, but he's going to get glimpsed back right into 3 heroes. Raze, though, going to demolish that Storm Spirit. Now going to turn for a little bit more. QP just can't be stopped. Now teleporting out. Finger of Death, though. That's going to jam it home. Chappa get 4 kills, and Power Rangers, maybe they probably should have joined their Darkseer into that fight, because Darkseer's level 11, but either way, that's a big fight and big win for Chappa.
You're talking nonsense. Who would want to just have their mech carrier join the fight? That doesn't make any sense.
Dude, when you heal the creeps to keep pushing, you're pushing so quickly.
It's so much value. Although with that fight now, with the Finger of Death kill, since Shadowfiend was by far the highest net worth, Lion got a huge chunk of gold and got his own Blink Dagger. So double Blink now coming out from Chappa. It's actually rather scary. I mean, the RP is what really made that fight for them. It was so nicely done. Kept the Storm Spirit alive. Otherwise, Storm Spirit, well, he died in the end anyway, but he would have died immediately from that just Epicenter Burrow Strike combination. But RP was great. But Power Rangers now, they're going into the Roach Pit even without the Shadowfiend presence of the Dark Lord, and it's not all that fast like this. And if Chappa just come in, they may easily be able to kill some heroes and get Roshan.
They have no RP right now, but they do have a taxi for the Lifestealer in that Storm Spirit. The Shadow Fiend should arrive to this fight at the same time as Chappa, and they're walking into now a full 5-man lineup with Power Rangers. With Chronosphere, they're ready to go. Epicenter not available. QP going to be maybe in the worst position possible, but no, Joker's dropping very low. Ball Lightning in, Blink dodge to avoid. Now the Ball Lightning actually Mana Drain stolen. 3 Days Grace going to be focused down. Chronosphere going to connect onto 2. That's the Lion down. Static Storm going to focus everyone else out. Joker can't quite get out of there, though. He will be beaten down before he gets a single skill off. Now they're going to try to go for Clash Invoker. They'll fall short in that regard, but they get the Burrow Strike onto the Lifestealer, kill him off instead. One raise, not quite going to do it versus the Storm Spirit, but a blink from everyone. They're going to chase the Storm down. He has no more mana, and he is going to die alone in a corner. And Power Rangers make a fantastic trade. 2 for 3, and Roshan still a target that this time Chappa can't contest. That was a great Static Storm from Chappa, but it was just a little bit of a better Chronosphere from this Faceless Void.
Right, I must say, you made this just Storm Spirit death sound so sad. It's like, he's dying alone in the corner. Nobody's there for him anymore.
What happens when you have no mana, man? You're like, well, shit, I'm just dead now.
Yeah, he's probably like using his last mana to like get to the high ground to try to make an escape, but suddenly discovers that, oh crap, I'm running towards the enemy base. And of course, in such a situation, it's not like you have the luxury to choose the other directions because you don't have enough mana pool, or if you want to just run the other way and then zip to the high ground, by that point you're already dead. But now Shadowfiend, once more, just sitting so high on the net worth. Tichara also up there. Does have a Mithril Hammer. Is this going to be a BKB, which, well, I think he should go for, or is he going to go for a Maelstrom for just more attack speed and damage?
Oh, he's going to get RP'd. It should be a BKB so he can dodge stuff like this. 5 heroes up on the top lane to kill off that Faceless Void. BKB to cancel off Glimpse. You don't really want to do that play, but sometimes you kind of just have to. And Faceless Void is going to be down for another 40 seconds, where Chappa, they're going to push in. Joker has a wall available with a level 3 vacuum, but he's going to get caught. How the hell did they see him? What?
Maybe a Static Remnant giving vision, probably. I think that's the most likely reason. Or maybe just they pop down a kinetic field for vision, one of the two. Or maybe just random blink into the trees and it's like, oh yeah, what do we
everyone?
know?
They got him. I guess they got him.
So 2 core heroes down, a tower on top of that. It's definitely nice for them, but just look at the Storm Spirit's network, for example. He just has so little of it. He's trying to go for a Bloodstone, but he needs a little bit more. Although it's not that far off, it's just him going for Power Threads first, really setting him back a tiny bit there. In the graphs though, it is about a 7k lead in net worth, XP about 5,000. Which has been almost the same for like 10 minutes now, so it's not that bad. Power Rangers, they aren't getting further ahead anymore. So Chappa, they've stopped the bleeding, but for how long?
Yeah, these BKBs, or the BKB on Ditchara is going to be very problematic. If they can keep getting the Static Storm and the RPs off as they have been, I mean, maybe not the best RPs in the world. That 3-man up towards top was pretty good, but Power Rangers are going to struggle a little bit more to actually deal with that. We have yet to see the Darkseer really make any significant impacts in these team fights, and, well, maybe because he wasn't there, that's going to be a little bit difficult to contribute when you're not there, but he's now going to start chasing forward for Metrum, possibly. That's not going to happen. Yeah, Darkseer wall into vacuum combo. It's a thing that Chappa are going to be really, really upset to be caught in, but they're going to maybe find QP first. the Shadow Fiend has a double life, has Ditchura's Chronosphere right behind him, and I think Ditchura has a BKB coming out. Yeah, it's a completed BKB on the way. So they're ready for a fight with 5 heroes available with all their ultimates and an Aegis. Chappa, this is going to be really difficult, but not impossible.
It's really gonna come down to how they get the jump. If they can like jump with a nice RP, maybe get the Darkseer as well straight into that. Of course, where is J4 on the Sand King? He has to find himself a great positioning, but they counter smoke from Chappa. From the left side they approach. Can they really get the jump? I mean, if they jump the Shadow Fiend, it's nice to get the Aegis immediately, but they just need more.
And Shadow Fiend's the only one they see right now. They could assume that everyone else from Power Rangers on the south end, but Ditchura, he's going to jump in. Chrono onto 2. The Storm Spirit's in a lot of trouble. Zeke, though, going to be focused. Blink forward from the mag. Going to catch an RP onto 2, and QP now going to get wailed into. He's going to lose his Aegis, but that's not a big deal because they've already taken down 2, maybe even 3 with the mag going down. Surge out on Faceless Void, going to keep him alive. Now the Shadow Fiend's going to return. Right into the Lifestealer he goes. That's going to be a third. 4th kill. Burst Strike up the high ground. Blind. Actually going to be dodged by Metrum. Pretty sweet reaction from the Lion, but it's still a 4 for nil. I guess a 4 for Aegis. And Power Rangers, because they saw the Shadow Fiend, they can go for a little bit more, try to force some buybacks, but Lifestealer, if he buys back right now, can't really do that much, and Metrum really has to be careful right now. If he gets caught with a Blink Burst Strike, he's just dead.
Yeah, King R even stole the RP there as well. I think he only got it onto the Magnus and missed the Lifestealers because the Lifestealer I think was infested at the time. But even so, just great fight from Power Rangers, just execution was almost spotless there. But Arseek didn't get off a single spell there. It was really Ditchura's initiation that made it all happen. All QP in some trouble, gets hexed up as well, Earth Spike, but the vacuum comes out. Static Storm will buy a little bit of time, but BKB from the Shadow Fiend. Pashak, does he have enough physical damage to remove Souls? Does? Well, pretty much nothing. And they do get the kill now. Oh, they get the skewer as well onto King R. Rubik almost certain to fall here. Blink Dagger is there for him, but he's just not gonna get the cooldown of it. And Pasha, he just wants more, but he's not gonna find it.
Well, Power Rangers don't get the tower. They stick around for a little bit too long, in fact. They just weren't paying close enough attention to the respawn timers. So Power Rangers do suffer some casualties, yet all these casualties are not going to outweigh the fact they did pretty much decisively win that previous team fight. Chappa going to try to crack back into its tier 1 tower. This is something that Power Rangers could actually defend if Sand King really feels like it. Epicenter, Burrow Strike, I mean, if he has some allies, perhaps it'll be a defense. And with Darkseer coming in with Ditchura, with a double damage at that, this is really bad for Chappa potentially. Fortification is there, Epicenter going to be wound up, Burrow Strike onto 1 only. Pasha gets to get out because that Burrow Strike was slightly off the mark, but they do annihilate the Lifestealer and they do hold on to their tier 1 tower. Probably still worth it.
Yeah, it's probably worth it, although I was so certain that with the vacuum helping out, the Burrow Strike will land. But I suppose the vacuum came out like a split second later than that Burrow Strike there. But Bloodstone is finished now onto the Storm Spirit just because he did not die. But even so, Chronosphere is still up. Yes, they don't have the wall, they don't have that epicenter, but even without that, just a Blink Burrow Strike to set things up, and now J4 even holding on to a Glimmer Cape. So if he Burrow Strikes in, he may even be able to escape rather easily, just Glimmer Cape. I don't think there's detection. There is a sentry on Arseek, but that's about it for now for them.
There's a little bit of detection on the ground already, so this Glimmer Cape is, you know, a nice item to have, definitely. Whoever is caught in a Static Storm, you just try to glimmer them out, just to reduce the damage, if anything else. But yeah, as far as escaping, I don't really know if it's going to happen, at least not in the mid lane. If you go to the side lanes, it'll definitely work out a lot better. But Shadow Fiend is going to go for a Manta style right now, getting all the items, and well, it's going to be really bad for him once Disruptor actually finishes up this Aghanim Scepter. But for right now, this guy is hitting really hard, has the most net worth by quite the margin, and is really difficult for Chappa to actually deal with. They're dealing with him pretty darn well, all things considered, but still not as effectively as they really would like right now. Power Rangers, they're going to call it quits, at least pushing the mid lane for now. They're probably just going to wait for another Roshan, another Aegis, before they make any super aggressive play. That's a lot of time where Chappa have to kind of make their counter plays of their own, but it seems like with this Lifestealer working with this Midas, working towards an AC, and with Empower as well, he doesn't really have any super aggressive plans. He just wants farm. He needs to recover versus this Void.
I must admit though that Arseek, he's gonna have his Aghanims in 100 gold, and that's extremely good for a team that's on the losing side and you're a support. So he's gonna have that one, and I was starting to think like, who has the most deaths if there's only one on a support, yet Power Ranger have 20 kills? And funny enough, it's the Lifestealer as well as the Storm Spirit, so it can't even be said that it has been poor play by them or anything. It's just Power Rangers, their focus has been spot on.
Yeah, that's the heroes that you got to go for. You can let the Lion walk away. You can let the Disruptor walk away, because when they walk back in, they're not going to be doing that much. And the same cannot be said about the Lifestealer Storm Spirit. Over towards mid, we have a fight brewing as both teams are invisible right now. With QP on this front lines, this could be really bad if BKB is not popped by the Shadow Fiend. He'll circle around Arzeek and QP both going to get their smokes revealed, but Arzeek has the vision advantage right now from the high ground. Power Rangers, they're going to get jumped on. There's the Blink Hex onto QP. No BKB. Stack Storm is up, but a Chronosphere is going to catch 3. Metrum's going to get annihilated immediately, but Shadow Fiend the same thing. Still no BKB. Epicenter does channel through, but it's not actually going to do that much. There's the vacuum into a wall, but a RP going to catch 2 on the end. Joker, Ditchira taking a lot of damage from the Cleave of Life. So Joker trying to get away, as is Ditchira, but they're both running in the same direction right now. That's going to be one easy kill for Mikelorus, looking for Ditchira, but he does backtrack that Shockwave. Ditchira trying to man-fight up against everyone. Still has the Sand King available here as well, but he has no Burst Strike. Glimmer going to keep Ditchira safe versus Pasha Invoker. Now the Shockwave does connect. Ditchira still fighting it out. There's the Blink in from Mikelorus, but Ditchira gets the time walk away. Glimpse back, however. How lucky is he this time? He's going to backtrack a whole slew of things. Arzeek now going to get thrown into his own kinetic field, and Ditchira still backtracking away. Oh my god, the RNG gods. I think he sacrificed that animal that we were talking about earlier, because he just rolled so lucky. It's a 2 for 5 in favor of Power Rangers. Even with the worst possible initiation from Chappa, or the best possible initiation from Chappa, worse for Power Rangers, they get away with a monstrous fight.
Yeah, it was only 2 heroes lost on Power Rangers. Yes, 2 core heroes, but doesn't matter as much if you have your Faceless Void survive and get all of that gold from it. Of course, even Ruby got a lot. Well, who am I kidding? Everybody got a lot of gold, and Disruptor even bought back for that one. And Power Rangers, Roshan is going to be up also in about 50 seconds, so I'm pretty certain that they're going to scout it out. Go take that one, get another Aegis, and of course, more items. Ditchira is sitting on 4.8k gold now.
Now he could actually get an item that'll help him do a lot of damage. Like, these Chronospheres have been really good. He's been focusing down the softer heroes, the supports, mostly out of necessity. He doesn't really have the damage to focus down someone like a Bloodstone Storm Spirit or a Lifestealer with, I think he had Plate Mail in his inventory at one point, or Chainmail or something like that. So he has extra armor with the Armlet as well. He doesn't have enough damage, but now he will. I don't know what item you get here as Ditchira. Probably something a little bit more balanced, like Butterfly Evasion is going to be a little bit too narrow. Maybe like a Manta style for a Faceless Void, something along those lines. But either way, he's going to get something, and that something is going to be really expensive, and it's going to hit very hard. But for right now, he's hitting really hard because he finds another DD rune. It's him and the Shadow Fiend right into the Roche Pit, and looks like Chappa, they're going to let this happen. They're going to try to take a tier 2 tower in trade, but I think Power Rangers can probably defend this.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Blink Vacuum, as well as the Chronosphere, it's really good at defending towers. And since they have a double damage, it is going to be just fast enough for them. And it's going to be Shadow Fiend once more to pick up the Aegis. Of course, BKBs are not a guaranteed safety for the other one, for the Faceless Void this time around, because there is an Aghanims after all, but he's having a Butterfly now. Definitely going to boost the damage. I mean, more attack speed, of course, means more time locks as well. G4 in the meantime, he got surged up, but didn't find the target with it. He does, however, have a Veil of Discord. And QP on the Shadow Fiend Sunlight, he's going to have that Eye of Skadi really soon.
Yeah, that's a really big item for this Shadow Fiend. Together with the Aegis, it's like, well, you kind of need to focus the Shadow Fiend, but you also kind of can't focus the Shadow Fiend because he's way too big and he has 2 lives. So Power Rangers, the past 1 minute was huge for them. They get a free Roshan, they get the tier 1 tower denied, which at this point it's not really a terribly huge deal, but Chappa would really love to have that gold. And they don't lose anything in exchange. Though Joker is not in the best position right now, it seems like he walked right past Arzeek, and well, Arzeek is a little bit more scared than Joker is right now. Looking for the vacuum, will decide to cancel that. The Power Rangers with the Aegis can make another aggressive play. They have all of their ultimates up. They have this Butterfly and the Eye of Skadi. And for Chappa, their latest item was, or latest relevant item, I think, still that Aghanim.
Oh, they have AC finish just now flying out, so that's pretty substantial for the Lifestealer. For the most part, it's just to negate the presence of the Dark Lord in defensive capabilities, and of course, getting some minus armor. But I have to say, most heroes are rather highly armored than Power Rangers as it is.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to actually crack both the Lifestealer and everyone else in Power Rangers, but like, this Assault Cuirass, though nice with Lifestealer, I don't think he will really have the backup stay alive long enough for him to actually do that damage. Like, ideally, as Lifestealer, you want to be hitting people while the rest of your allies, you know, cancel out other Blink Daggers and whatnot. Keep the Lifestealer as safe as possible. That's just not going to happen when there's a Chronosphere. So, if he gets caught in the Chronosphere, he may not outright die, but he's going to have his effectiveness dropped down to 0. Speaking of, QP Oh, they're trying to scare the BKB out of him, but they won't. It's an RP onto 2, but in the back, and RP onto 3, actually. The Chronosphere onto 2, rather. Static Storm is going to be used. Joker is the only one caught into it as QP pops the Requiem, which will do a lot of damage to everyone, but not quite enough to his life. So there's man fighting up against the Shadow Fiend really well now. Buyback from the Storm Spirit. RP, though, is going to come through. AC not going to help you there. QP still with the Aegis active is going to raise down the Storm Spirit. Metrum on the way out. Back to his base. Joker dropping very low. Ditchera chasing after Nikhil. It's not going to be enough there. They'll take down the Shadow Fiend's Aegis, but man, Chronosphere, RP, so far this Magnus has been landing some really good ones, but they just, again, don't have the follow-up because everyone who could have followed up was stuck in the Chronosphere from Ditchera.
Yeah, Storm Spirit, he almost made it out with a Ball Lightning as well. Oh, Joker just goes down, but he gets forced up now. Nikhil, Burrow struck up. Of course, he did get, I suppose, a better kill than his own death, but in the last fight, it was just the Chronosphere. It ended. Ditchera, I think he got the bash like almost at the same second, or just had enough time to get that extra attack in after the Chronosphere ended. Storm Spirit bought back, zipped back in on, well, as you can see, he died once more. He's down to 2 blast down charges, so far from his BKB just because he had to buy back. And without the BKB, it's just gonna get infinitely harder for them to just keep on taking fights. Although I have to say, considering the amount of deficit that they're working against, it was still a pretty decent fight, but it just keeps on getting worse now. 20,000 net worth, 20,000 XP. Power Rangers, all they need to do is just farm up, wait for the next Roshan, get cheese and Aegis, and then go in the game.
I don't even know if they have to wait that long. Probably just get Chronosphere at the very least. That's maybe good enough for them to go in, because Shadow Fiend has another 2,700 gold. Probably Helm of the Dominator into Satanic soon, if not next. Maybe Manta Style first, something along those lines. But yeah, Shadow Fiend is going to get really difficult to kill, and then it's like Power Rangers, they have 3 heroes who Chappa really need to focus down. 2 on the top, Faceless Void and Shadow Fiend, obviously the most important, but also the most difficult to kill. Then you have to worry about this Darkseer, who's been focused down primarily in all of these fights, so that's why we haven't seen any of these huge vacuum wall combos coming out. But even with that, Darkseer is very tanky as well. He's distracting away from this Faceless Void and Shadow Fiend. They're doing their damage, and Darkseer is just like a distraction right now for Chappa.
I mean, yeah, it's just they have 2 such heavy hitters as it is, but they are ready now to unpause. Hopefully Chappa is as well, but if you're Chappa, what's your plan even? I mean, is it really we need a big RP with a Static Storm follow-up, or is it something that's a little bit more easy to execute for them?
No, at this point, they are really forced into these giant team fights simply because Power Rangers are not going to be taking things on a smaller scale, so they need these RPs and Static Storms to land. They need to burst down someone with RP available right after getting that kill. So that's the only way I see them actually winning a team fight, is if they take down QP with no Aegis available. That is probably going to involve a Ball Lightning in with the Lifestealer, kill out the Shadow Fiend, and then hopefully no one else from Power Rangers is quite there yet. That's probably the only way they actually do this. They are very far behind right now, and Lifestealer, we saw how much damage he was doing. It was a pretty good amount versus the Shadow Fiend, but if Shadow Fiend grabs like a Butterfly as his next item, then Lifestealer is really in trouble.
Yeah, and if he wants to go for the Butterfly, he's gonna have it rather soon as well. 3.5k in the bank already as it is. Maybe he wants to go for the Satanic instead, just bulk up even more and have that just chance to lifesteal, although Talisman of Evasion is picked up, so probably gonna be the Butterfly. And all Chappa, they are somewhat grouped up, probably just don't want to get picked off themselves. But there's now even a Blink Dagger on Ditchera, so if the Time Walk wasn't enough for him to land some pretty good Chronospheres, with this Blink Dagger it should be even easier.
He's going to be able to initiate from such a long distance away. If Chappa don't see anyone, then they're not going to be safe, because that Faceless Void can be right outside that vision range. They also have an Aghanim Scepter coming up on Rubik very shortly with the Veil and Glimmer Cape. The Sand King is just wearing all types of clothing, man. He has a Perseverance in his inventory. Probably, well, I mean, Lotus Orb is actually okay here, but I don't know what this Sand King's going for. Lincoln's is just fine as well, but either way, Power Rangers have a ton of items coming up, and they should actually wait for these items. Ideally for them, they'll have all these items completed, including a Sheepstick on the Darkseer, by the time this Roshan respawns, and then they'll have Aegis, Cheese, a whole slew of items, and they'll be ready to go.
So, can you go for, like, let's say a Refresher Orb, maybe?
I mean, on Sand King, it's usually not that great to go for, just because well, it's channeling, it's really like you'll have it as 100% uptime, but I don't even think they need Epicenter with 100% uptime right now.
I suppose or he can go for a Lincoln Sphere, just put that buff onto like a Shadow Fiend, maybe probably the Shadow Fiend who's going to be on the front line sieging, just to make it so that he can't get Blink Hexed, for example.
Yeah, and it'll block, you know, maybe like an open wounds or something like that, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but that's a little bit less lifesteal for everyone on Chappa, and at this point they need every little bit that they can get. I have a feeling though it's just going to be the Lotus Orb because it's a Sand King, and look at his inventory already. Like, he's going for the pure utility type build, and Lotus Orb is like Lincoln Sphere, except
it's flying out now.
Oh, it is? Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'm right. But also armor. Like, this Sand King is suddenly a lot more resistant to the likes of Lifestealer. Not that he's been focused by the Lifestealer to begin with, but still, this dude is really tanky.
Yeah, it's really only the Rubik who has to be afraid, just because if AC is close to him, he's sitting at -1 armor. So not fun times for the Rubik. We did see him completely melt last time around, although they might find Chase Cat, they get the Electric Vortex, Static Storm. Will they have to use it? Well, they're gonna pop it, although I don't think it was entirely necessary. Then again, Dichara, he comes in, but doesn't pop BKB before jumping in, but the Burrow Strike will still be there. But we did have a RP somewhere, not entirely sure, maybe it was just a glimpse once again coming off cooldown. But their Pasha Invoker gonna get bashed up multiple times, does commit suicide. But Arseek, no, Blink, Time Walk, Dichara, he wants blood, pops the... Never mind, he's gonna get glimpsed back again.
The first time he got glimpsed back, he used BKB after he landed at his glimpse destination, which could have been completely avoided if you just pop the BKB while you're still, like, I guess in transit, I could say, but either way, it doesn't really matter because they get the kill on the
He may have been, like, just in the Static Storm, so he couldn't pop BKB.
No? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, he time walked in, but I'm not too sure if he got out of that in time. Oh, Lifestealer, is he gonna get patched? Nope, just a Chrono.
Alright, that's why you save it. That's why you don't go for Disruptor kills. That's, you know, the value of a Chronosphere. It is really high, and I would say killing off a Lifestealer just by himself, that's totally worth it. He's gonna be happy they didn't use it to kill off that Disruptor earlier. Still, Power Rangers don't have an Aegis and Cheese to work with. We're gonna see the respawn timer very shortly, but by that time, they'll definitely have the Butterfly up, Aghanim Scepter completed. It's an inconvenient long respawn timer for Power Rangers. They have more time to farm though, that's fine, but they have their items up, they want to go now.
Well, Butterfly is or should be flying out as well now, so indeed, there's really no reason for them to wait. At least as long as they have their ultimates and they're all at full health. But at the moment, they're just really taking things slow, maybe hoping for another pickoff, for example, and then go. Although Nikaril has the first Perseverance, could buy a second one as well if he wants to. So his double RP isn't all that far off, in all honesty.
And his RPs have been good. If you get 2 of them, that's, well, maybe even an answer to the Chronosphere, where you will be able to maybe catch the Faceless Void out, or, you know, skewer a whole bunch of his allies into the Chronosphere. That is also something that you could do as a Magnus player. And then at that point, you get Static Storm, you get some cleave damage from the Lifestealer. It is possible for this Magnus double RP to turn things around in a big way, depending on how many heroes he lands, depending on the positioning of those heroes, and where the Chronosphere is, but that is mostly going to be moot should the Power Rangers grab this Aegis Cheese, and I think they want it. Like, I'm pretty sure, based off of their positioning, they really want this Aegis and Cheese.
How long are they willing to wait there, though? I mean, they were sitting around there for some time, and oh, crap, let's just go anyway, or maybe they're just gonna try to keep on vision on that side of the map, maybe get the pickoff, or even if they don't get the pickoff, just... They know that 11 minutes is the absolute maximum, so it's gonna be there soon enough. Although Dichara with an Invis rune. Oh no, Sasha! Chronosphere once more. Just a sad, sad Lifestealer. Well, he still has enough gold for buyback, but you just don't want to spend it, and you're not in a position where you can actually spend it. You need those extra items.
And if he does buy back, then Power Rangers are gonna be fine. They'll just back off and not go for the base push, but they're gonna force the buyback right now. If it works, it works. They probably win the game instantly. If not, they back off, cut their losses, and go for Roshan, and in which case they'll try to win the game a little bit later. But no Chronosphere. This is going to be Power Rangers at probably their weakest point possible. Will it matter, though? Burrow Strike on the back end, though. They found the Magnus. Can they actually catch up to him? Glimpse back is going to bring him right back in the clutches of QP, but he's right on top of the Storm Spirit right now. He has no BKB up just yet, but he will get it off now with the Requiem. It's going to connect onto 3 heroes. Joker's stuck in the Static Storm. Can't get anything off, and he will go down. Epicenter doing absolutely no damage. Everyone's magic immune right now. Pasha Invoker runs out of mana. He'll be brought down in an instant. Now the Burrow Strike forward onto Sasha. who just fought back into this game. He's gonna get caught with the bashes. That's a stolen kinetic field as well. He's gonna infest out, and suddenly he's miles away. Slick escape from the Lifestealer, but will it matter? Because Arzeek is also gonna be brought down. Rubik with a big steal of the kinetic field there. And Lifestealer does get to live. That would have been otherwise disastrous for the Lifestealer. Instead, it's just merely bad. They also forced the buyback on the Disruptor. The Raxes are in trouble. Blink forward. RP gonna catch him too. Here comes Sasha back from the dead. They're gonna steal RP though. Connected onto 3. 3 Days Grace overperforming. They're gonna kill off the Lifestealer. Now the Arzeek as well. Oh man, Chappa just walked right into that one. With only Lion alive and no buybacks, that's gotta be game.
I just love Rubik, to be honest, with Hacking Interceptor. Only a 2-second cooldown. You can go for such peak plays, although, well, Finger of Death does secure 1 kill for themselves. They should just call out GG and Power Rangers. Taking game number 1, I must say, rather convincingly. I mean, they were ahead pretty much the entire game.
And it wasn't like the RP at the end for the Rubik was the game-ending play. They were in a really good position, even if that RP just completely whiffed. I don't see the Lifestealer at that low HP with just a Magnus to back him up, actually killing off all of Power Rangers. So at that point, they were probably just going to win the game anyway. But that's how you win the game with style. And style points, that counts a lot, at least when I'm casting. And guys, should be the next game coming up very shortly. Power Rangers going to claim a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. So we'll see if Chappa can bring it back, although they really have to change something up for this game too. I'm Mikelorus. I'm joined by Couchor, and we'll both be right back in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.